Good morning, everyone. We have Coach Saleh for questions. We can begin.
Just four of you?
Robert, can you give us any update on the guys who kind of been dealing with injuries, Jared Davis and Marcus May specifically, if you think you'll have them back this week?
They're day to day. Hoping we can get them both back, but I'll have a better idea for you come Wednesday. But it's looking promising.
Hey, Robert, after the time off here, what are you looking for and specifically out of Zach as you guys move forward? I'm sure you guys obviously watch probably every play over the bye week. What are you and Mike and crew looking for him as you move forward here specifically?
It's going to sound elementary, but it really is. One, obviously, continue to get better, continue to grow from the things not only that he's done well, but the things that he did not do very well. Find a way as a group, offensively and as an individual, to find a way to be comfortable in that first quarter, so you're not waiting to the second quarter to get rolling and to just continue to grow. It's like I've said before, it's not easy being a rookie quarterback, but at the same time, there's steps that we can be taking every single week to get better, so we can be there in the second half, ready to looking for a player or two to win a football game.
Is there a benefit, Robert, to stepping away and not necessarily playing for a week, getting a chance to watch as opposed to do?
Heck yeah. I think it is. I've had a good talk with him. I believe it was Friday evening, and he was talking about or Saturday morning, and he was talking about some things. I was like, hey, dude, just make sure you go to sleep. Just relax, just lay off a little bit and just relax. And, he's such a competitor. He's just constantly thinking about it. But I think coaches, players, organization, even for you guys, just step away and watch somebody else for a minute. It's a good refresher and a chance to come back and see if we can finish this thing strong.
Before you left, I think maybe after the game or the day after, you said your mission on the bye week was to really study the offense, particularly the bad starts, and come up with some solutions. Can you walk us through what that process was like last week? And how confident are you that you came up for some solutions to solve these bad starts?
There's I thought offensively, Mike and his staff did a really good job digging in deep in terms of what the offense is having success at, what we're not having success at, what the quarterback is having success at versus what he's not having success at, the splits of first quarter versus second, third, fourth quarter, just to see what is it that he looks most comfortable doing, having conversations with him to see if we can get into more of a rhythm in the first quarter. Then obviously on my end with regards to scheduling, and just to see if we can change some things up that are subtle, but who knows, but feel really good about the soundness of the things that we'll be doing over the course of the week. The one thing that I thought was very important was that we didn't just make things up and do things just to do things. So with regards to your answer, I'm going to keep a lot of it private, Rich, if that's okay. But I do feel good about we feel good about the soundness of the decisions that we're going to make moving forward. And it's not just a grab bag to try to throw junk at the wall and hoping that it sticks.
So will you be making changes, Robert, to the practice schedule? Like, without getting into details, can you say you kind of just hinted at that?
Yeah, it's subtle. You guys won't even notice it. It's just subtle in terms of timing and all that stuff. But just trying to get the body clocks moving at an earlier time as it pertains to the week. So,
how do you balance, Robert? A few weeks ago, you quoted Bruce Lee about the kicks, and how do you balance of okay, we're going to stick to what we're doing, and we're just going to, repetition is going to help versus, maybe we need to change things up a little bit and without hitting the panic button per se, but how do you kind of balance those two things?
There is balance. So I'll give you another quote. It's Cal Ripken Jr. He said, practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. And so you could be out there, and I'll do the old golfer's analogy. You go out to the driving range and you hit a ball, and you hit 3 good ones, and then you miss one. You're like, let me try to change something. And then you change something. Then you hit another one, a couple of good ones. You miss something. Let me try to change it. Next thing you know, you're all over the place. When really all you needed to do was stick to the foundation that you built off of, make perfect swings, and trust that, once in a while it's going to go haywire. But if you stay true, you'll continue to improve. So so as it pertains to technique, fundamentals, all that stuff, like I'm a stickler on that one. Like those are your core foundations. Those are your core principles that you just can't let go of. You don't want to tweak those. That's what makes a player. Now, offensively, schematically, whether we put in a couple of different runs, or defensively, if we put in another coverage, whatever it might be, there's always going to be room for that, but never at the expense of our fundamentals and our technique, and asking guys to do stuff that they're not comfortable doing, because it could go the other way in a hurry in terms of asking a young man to do too much, and now he's all out of whack. And if you guys just look around the league, teams that are struggling, what is the one thing they all want to do? Well, maybe we'll scale back some and give our guys a chance to just go play. And it's like, well, why don't you just do that from the beginning? But there is balance, because you got to do enough to make sure that the opposing team is always off balance, but you always want to make sure that your players are in position to play as fast as possible.
Robert, one of the other guys injured. I know he's not in contention to come back this week, but he probably should be within the next few. Is Makai? Do you just have an update on him and how his process is going?
He's doing a really good job. Obviously, he's a few weeks away yet, but he's been working hard. He's in pretty good shape, and I know he's chomping at the bit to get back. So, but as far as like a concrete evaluation, I wouldn't have one for you right now, Colin. Still the same.
Robert, where do you feel like you guys are at in terms of establishing your identity on both sides of the ball?
Obviously, I think I stand in lockstep. I think we all stand in lockstep with Joe in terms of we're going to be identified up front. And if you look at our O-line has played very well here over the last few weeks, and we anticipate them to continue to play well. Our D-line has been extremely effective, very, very good, playing with a lot of energy, and just overpowering teams overpowering their opponent. And at the same time, we saw it in London, got an offensive coordinator completely change the way he calls the game because of our D-line, to keep away from our D-line. So that's where the chess match comes, and our ability to change. But I think it's starting to get established. I know it's hard to see right now, but I think in the trenches, I feel like we've been the better team, with the exception of those first couple of weeks. But it's been coming along, and I think our guys are starting to understand where we're going to make hay and where we're going to win football games.
You mentioned the improvement of the offensive line. I'm assuming you're mostly referring to pass protection, because the run game, statistically anyways, has not been up to the league average. Am I misreading that, or do you see something there that's the stats aren't showing?
No, you're not wrong. But that goes back to this system has always been predicated on in terms of. If you look at Tennessee, and obviously Tennessee has a war daddy, right, and to run the ball, but it is 3 yards, 3 yards, 3 yards, 20 yards, 3 yards, 3 yards, 15 yards, and it's just they wear on people. But they're able to wear on people because they get plays, they get snaps. So our offense is third down conversions, possessing the ball, moving the chains. Those give you opportunities to run the ball more. And the one game where we were able to do that was the New England game, and we were able to get possessions, and we were able to move the football, and we were able to run the ball pretty effectively against New England. But obviously, we're turning the ball over at inopportune times. But it comes with opportunity, and I think once the structure is there, they're getting better at it. But it definitely is not showing. Rich, I'm not going to argue with you on that one, but we feel really good about our O-line where it's at, and it's only going to get better.
Robert, when you studied the first 5 games, Elijah Moore, we asked him about last week, but what did you see when you looked at it and kind of looking at him? What can you do to get him going?
Yeah, there's. We're going to get our best players on the field, and Elijah obviously is one of them. And, he's been affecting the game. He had I know statistically, for example, in London, it wasn't in his favor, but he did draw that big 45-yard explosive or 40-yard explosive on a PI. His speed is felt on the football field. Obviously, he missed the game, really a game and a half if you consider if you count what he missed in Denver. But he's coming along. He's going to continue to get opportunities. we just got to find creative ways to get him on the football field and get him in position and go make a play.
Is that it for Coach? Thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks, guys.